Alton Towers has built and removed quite a few rides in the past. They removed the corkscrew roller coaster to make way for 13. They removed the black hole to make way for the Smiler. And they removed Nemesis to make way for Nemesis. And the list of those rides that have been removed and replaced goes on. And as much as there are still many beloved roller coasters at the park, I have a damn good feeling that one of those coasters is about to join that list. And there is some very shocking and surprising evidence to go with it. Another roller coaster at the park has come to the end of its life cycle. May they rest in peace. But the coaster in question is Galactica. Sadly, not Rita. Why couldn't it have been that one? Be sure to watch till the end so you can know all of the speculation and evidence that I have to give to you about this ride potentially being removed in the very near future. And whilst you're at it, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're on the way to 80,000 subscribers, so if you want to help towards that goal, it would be greatly appreciated. So then, Galactica. How do we know the end of its life is nearing? Or do we actually know? I think we do, but that's why I'm making this video. So how do we begin talking about this brand new revelation? We have to have a brief history lesson first. I do this every time. You should have expected it by now. Galactica, of course, is a B&M flying coaster located in the Forbidden Valley section of the park, or Phalanx facility, with two big helicopters, that area. And before being called Galactica, it was actually known as Air when it first opened in 2002. 2 years before I was born. The ride glided riders over pathways. It would lay them on their backs, invert them, and just peacefully transport you from the station round to the station. But in 2016, they decided this was not enough. They needed to add something new to the ride to make it more exciting. The best things to do would be add new theming pieces, new on-ride effects, give it a total overhaul, a complete retheme. They didn't think of that. They pretty much renamed it Galactica, stuck a portal at the front, closed the station in, and put VR on it. And putting virtual reality on that coaster was such a big hit for the general public, and they loved it. So much so, Alton Towers got rid of it within the next 2 years. And past that point of removing the VR, it seems to be that the ride has just been deteriorating, and it's not very reliable, nor is it very well kept. And now I think I might have some proof as to why this may be the case. So then, what is happening to this ride? Now, as I've said many times already, and I need to shut up about it, there is some very compelling evidence to back up that this might be removed in the future. The first of which is exactly what I just mentioned. The fact they've left it to sort of, become derelict pretty much. A lot of parks tend to not really care for rides that they know won't be there for long. So for instance, we've seen some updates to Oblivion's area, we've seen some Smiler updates, of course Nemesis as well, but nothing has happened to Galactica for many years. And as much as it wasn't as major, in 2021 and 22, we saw how bad Jewel looked, and then the year after, oh look, Emily Alton's taken over. That does ring some alarm bells when it comes to this ride being removed, but I don't think it's the one that takes the cake for me. A smaller thing that may back it up a little bit more is the Seek the Truth logo that was spotted behind the Galactica sign, and it was sort of painted on the back, so it couldn't have just been, I don't know, carved in there with a wooden branch. That had to be done intentionally, and then soon after it just disappeared again. Surely something's going on. Well, something very much is, because pretty much to explain what we've seen, if you aren't aware, when they build brand new rides and roller coasters that are potentially going to reach new heights, or sort of, they might mess up the skyline or something, or in Towers' case, they might go over the tree line and upset the neighbours, they often bring out these laser camera things that sort of help with gauging the sight lines around the area. They did that for Hyperia near Old Town, I think it was like a year before it closed, and they actually sort of started building it. They placed these cameras around to sort of get different viewpoints of how a new roller coaster would look in that location. Yeah, they take the laser, they fire it in one direction and blow up the site that they need it for. They just aim them somewhere, shoot the laser, and it scans the area and shows them with the plans sort of how the ride would fit in and whether it would be under the tree line. And then that of course helps towards putting forward the plans and going in with the investment and sort of making them a reality. And those cameras that are usually spotted when a new ride is being built have been spotted on the Galactica Plaza. There's one of them here that seems to be photographing directly towards the roller coaster restaurant, and even a generic looking tripod thing that's looking towards the main entrance of Galactica. Now obviously this could just be referencing, it could be, I don't know, a massive 100-foot extension of the roller coaster restaurant. But as I always do, I look way too deep into things and I speculate way too much. It seems extremely likely that these cameras were placed in that plaza area to sort of show what the ride may look like around that area, or whether they're going to rework that area as well. But with what we've seen of these cameras before, it does very much point towards a brand new roller coaster. Now obviously you may say that the roller coaster restaurant one, the fact it's pointing in that direction could mean it's pointing at Project Ocean. If that is the case, I'm a bit worried, because they probably should have done that already. Or it could be even further from that. It could be to do with the blade, maybe they're replacing it or getting a new one, or the arcade. Could be something in there. It could also be nothing, but that's no fun. But before we talk about the most exciting thing of a new roller coaster replacing Galactica, could these cameras mean something else? Do they mean a retheme is imminent? I don't think so, but you never know. The only reason I could see that happening from these cameras is if they added massive set pieces and new theming, which I guess could happen now that Alton Towers spend a bit more on theming. Never know, we might get Big Bob 2, and it might actually be a retrack instead of just a retheme. Although again, that would just replace the exact same track, so why the hell would you need to do new sightlines for it? How I like to think of it is a brand new roller coaster. Rip out Galactica and put something new in. Please, Alton Towers. It'd be so cool. I'd pay so much to see that. Because as much as I loved Galactica as a kid, now it is very much wearing away. And the trains themselves and sort of the area of it, no. Get rid. And I think they wouldn't want to bring it back because, well, they've brought back every single other ride in the area already. Why not build something brand new? But we've said how it could be a new roller coaster in its place. But what could that roller coaster be? If you don't know, I have previously made videos where I have sort of predicted what will go in that space. I said there could be an intamin multi-launch, like a new generation one that had loads of like near misses and cool theming. It could even be a Zamperla Valair. The Phalanx torture device. We could see a Vekoma flyer to replace it, but then again that might be too similar to Galactica, so they might not even bother with that. Or they could get in a very friendly manufacturer to them, especially recently, Mack Rides, and they could make a brand new Mack Stryker coaster. If you don't know what a Mack Stryker coaster is, if you've ever seen Voltron at Europa Park, it's that. And that is the only one of them. And my god, it is a beautiful ride. And that model is perfect because Voltron definitely shows that you don't need the height or speed to make an insane ride. Not that we get the same thing, of course, but it has a beyond vertical launch, it goes into like a loop, and bear in mind the station is quite far off the ground in comparison to the top of that loop. So put it down to the ground, and it's probably not over the tree line. It has multiple unique inversions, it goes through like a valley launch that sort of just comes out of nowhere. Got a turntable halfway through with a backwards launch, and the ride mainly focuses on airtime and hang time, and we know from Hyperia how much Merlin seem to love that now. How about we get the world's most weightless roller coaster at Alton Towers, guys? Not only that, but it would also be a 1.3 meter height restriction, much like Hyperia as well. So you would have the in-between of 1.2 and 1.4. Perfect for Alton Towers. The ride itself would fit way more into the theme of Forbidden Valley and the Phalanx. You could have sort of a ride car and you're sort of in this vehicle that's getting away or sort of escaping the Phalanx, escaping the Nemesis creature. And you could have loads of different on-ride scenes, such as when the Phalanx man dies right in front of you. You could definitely fit that in the area of Galactica, and if you really had to extend out a little bit, you could probably do that as well. I just think that that ride at Towers would be the perfect fit. It's what they're missing. I'm doing this again. My name is now John Wardley. What do you think to this? Do you think that all of these cameras and the sort of surveying that's happening in that area is meaning it's the end of Galactica's life? Or do you just think they're building a brand new telephone pole? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Oh, also subscribe. Bye-bye now.